like it was sold for such a long time that a mutual exchange. Part of your education was at Parts in Brussels. One wouldn't guess so if one sees the show.
Yeah, I mean, I stayed 1 year, like most of my artists of my generation. We didn't finish at Parts. Akram didn't finish. I didn't finish. Some of the artists.
Why?
Well, it was because we already were coming into a system with a lot of experience and cultural experience. And so to decode one's cultural experience is very, very difficult. And so it was our understanding of that difficulty and accepting that, we have something maybe even better or more precious. And the system that we were getting into was opening up other avenues, but at the same time it was closing already what we had. And so most of the teachers told me, I remember we had this conversation with David Zungana, who told me that he was retired here because there's absolutely nothing as working. Instead, we need to come to you and get something from you. And so that was a powerful statement that made me think a lot of what, and to also begin my mind to find more reasons why I was in Europe to study. And my reasons to go back home were much stronger than my reasons to stay.
Yeah. Understandable. Although it's a little bit hard to imagine Anne-Theresa de Keersmaker learning from African culture, but...
Oh well, you look at drumming, for instance.
Yes, that's right. Well, this was your influence.
No, it wasn't my influence, but I'm just saying, you look at drumming, the music in itself. And I've had the pleasure also of working with Jivan. And we had this conversation also with him about the music, specifically drumming. That is very heavily, and also in his music is very heavily inspired by African rhythms and folk rhythms and structures. And so it also fits into the work of Onatera, maybe, without implying that, it's influence, but it's the structure in the work, the repetition, the hypnotic nature, you find it in African systems and work.
Very good. One more last question I want to ask you. The spirituality in African dance, be it contemporary or be it traditional, is still a very strong part in everyday life as well. So I wonder if you can describe a little bit to us who are not so used to it, what it means to you, what it transports, what it makes you, what inspiration it gives you for your work.
Sure. I mean, particularly in Beautiful Me, it allows me that opportunity to talk, and to reach those that I can't reach in this state.
Those who are not there.
Those who are not there, either my ancestors or those that I wish to talk to. So being on this stage, it's kind of opens up that arena, that conversation with those I can see. Sometimes I lose myself because I'm inside that spiritual world where I'm having these conversations with the ones that I can't see. There's a spiritual charge in the space, so there's always a search and a conversation that takes place inside here, and that's largely, that's largely how we respond spiritually. That you go into the world which normally you can't explain. It's a world that transforms you and allows you to talk, to those who can't normally see. Either your ancestors or even God. Other people go to church to pray. to speak, to have that conversation, and we choose to dance. We have that spiritual connection, or I choose to dance.
Does God dance back to you?
I believe so. I mean, in this work, I search for him. And every night I try to reach him and to find him and to ask him, is he the one who we all are searching? And I look, and what made me think of that is that a lot of atrocities have been performed in the name of religion, and so and we've been made to believe that there is God, there's only one God, and so my question has always been, then if you are the number one, we all fight, because you're the number one.
Okay, now let's make the audience number 2, shall we? And können wir auch ein bisschen Hauslights haben, dass wir die besser sehen? We open up the discussion now, so if you have questions or comments or critique or remarks or whatever, feel free to... do we have a mic for them?
Yes, we have one mic here.
Okay, great. So just raise your hand and they will rush up to you, because I cannot see you anyhow.
I just have one question about one of the phrases that I thought was really powerful was when you said erase the names. And I was wondering, is that a goal? That you're calling them out in order to erase them? Or are you calling them out to say, okay, I can't erase them,